office meeting. Tim?
Hmm?
Why can't you do your work while you're at work?
There isn't time. I have to go to meetings. Apologizing for being late because I've been kept at the previous meeting, and leaving early, making arrangements to meet again to finish the meeting in order to get to the next meeting. This goes on till I leave work, when I can, at long last, start work. Done nearly 4 hours today.
Do you think it would make things easier if I came and slept at the office?
Why don't you come and sleep at the meetings? Everyone else does. In fact, if it wasn't for the sleep we got at meetings, we'd never be able to work.
This isn't work, is it?
Hmm?
You are hereby summoned to appear, and that you did exceed the speed limit.
Well, I was late for the meeting at the works, wasn't I? Meeting at the office went on for hours.
Assaulting behaviour?
Well, I didn't realize the motorcyclist cutting in and waving was a policeman, so...
You waved back?
In a way. In a way.
Thursday afternoon. You won't be late for the Thomases, will you?
No, it won't take long. It's a court case, not a meeting.
Well, they're all the same thing, really, aren't they?
What?
A lot of people in a room, trying to establish what happened and why, deciding what to do about it.
Nothing like each other at all. In a court you have rules, procedures. It's all organized. Meeting, you just... meet.
Timothy James Brown Smith, you are charged with chairing without due thought and preparation, failing to signal your intentions to the meeting, negligent ordering of the agenda, not being in full control of your discussion, and failing to record decisions of the meeting. How do you plead?
Look, I think I'm supposed to be in a meeting.
But this is a dream.
Yes?
Well, you can't have a meeting now. You're in bed asleep.
Well, supposing I've got a meeting in this dream.
Well, then it won't matter if you don't turn up.
Oh.
Anyway, these are very serious charges. If proven, they amount to cold-blooded time-wasting and conspiracy to obstruct the course of good decision-making.
Why pick on me? My meetings are no worse than anybody else's.
You don't risk your own innocence by proving the guilt of others. First charge. Chairing without due thought and preparation.
Evidence.
Will you kindly cast your mind back to 6 minutes past 10 on the morning of April the 7th this year? Your weekly production meeting?
Oh, no.
Oh, what's getting done? Sorry, I'm late. It's been a bloody planning meeting. On and on, as usual. Bloody waste of time. Well, nice to see you all again. Now.
Well, how long is it going to take this morning, Tim?
Well, depends what we've got to discuss, really.
You might take the things you need me for first. I should be on the floor.
I should think so. Well, nice to see you all again. Gosh, is it really a week since we met? Seems like yesterday.
It was yesterday.
What?
We had to make a decision on the overtime rates.
Oh, so we did. Howard.
Sorry? Have we started?
Yes. Right, well, nice to see you all again, as I say.
What are we talking about this morning?
Well, we better talk about that first. I'll do an agenda. Item 1, the agenda. Ian's got to go pretty sharpish, as I say.
What have you got?
I'd like to talk about the night shift standbys.
Oh, I had a word with Frank about that, and he thinks that 2 will be enough until we get the new B265s.
What about the weekends?
We'll see what you think of this.
Well, what else we got? Well, I always think it's very useful to get together like this. You know, to see...
There's any point in having got together.
What? Good.
Oh, Tim, I saw Hawkins on Friday.
Oh, that was it. What did he say?
Well, he thinks it'll be okay until the last quarter, but he did point out that the new cooling system has got problems.
Oh, I've been taking care of that. It wasn't the cooling system at all. They were using the wrong coolant. Hadn't read the instruction manual. The old bottle used to take grade X, and this new one takes double X. So the whole thing started overheating, and the bearings seized up on number 2 machine. And of course, they were all standing around, blaming the machine instead of trying to work out what they'd done wrong themselves. So they replaced the bearings, and there's no damage, and everyone seems to know about the double X now, so we shouldn't have any more trouble there. Good, right. Well, what else we got to talk about?
Oh, nothing for me.
Nope.
No.
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 Good. Right. Well, there wasn't anything anyone wanted to talk about.
Including yourself?
Yes?
Why have the meeting, then?
It's the weekly meeting.
Supposing you hadn't had it,
Well, we have it every week. We always have.
why?
It's the weekly meeting.
You mean it's like climbing Everest? You do it because there.
Look, there's normally plenty to talk about.
Well, there wasn't that time.
No?
Then why didn't you cancel it?
Cancel it? Look, I don't know what they want to talk about until they get there, do I?
Not if you don't find out beforehand, no. Not if you chair without due thought and preparation, no. I mean, really. Supposing I conducted my court like that.
Prisoner at the bar, you stand charged with... He doesn't appear to be charged with anything, my lad.
Who made out this indictment?
I did, sir.
But it's blank.
Yes, well, I thought that would give everyone a chance to contribute. You know, let the feeling of the meeting, of the court, emerge. You know, play it by ear.
I think you'd better tell us what the charge is.
Well, I haven't given it that much thought, to be quite honest. Things were a bit hectic down the station this morning. I thought we could sort of work something out when we all got together. No, well, I see what you mean.
You see? You're a menace. Abso-bloody-lutely hopeless.
You're not supposed to talk to me like that.
Don't blame me, it's your dream. Disgraceful. A total waste of everybody's time.
Well, not a total waste. I mean, we sorted out that stuff about Hawkins and the cooling system, and David was able to clear up the standby thing with Jack. I mean, we got something done.
But those things could have been done over the telephone or in each other's offices. You didn't need a meeting for that. I mean, to ask you the question that you should have asked yourself, what was the meeting intended to achieve?
Well, it was the
What would have been the consequence of not holding it? So, conducting a meeting means, stage 1, preparing yourself so that you're quite clear what the meeting is for. And then, stage 2, making quite sure that everyone else is clear as well.
Yes, I know you mean an agenda. Well, I do those sometimes.
Like a fortnight ago? Yes, I was coming to that. Second charge, failure to signal your intentions to the meeting. The morning of June the 12th, 10 a.m. precisely.
Right, everyone got an agenda? Good. Now, item 1, improving company communications. I think we all understand the problem. Ron.
It's a problem, all right. It'll cost a lot of money to solve it.
Now, you mean staff costs?
No, not staff, equipment.
Well, surely it's management time at the root of it.
No, equipment. At least 6 more video display units.
What?
Look, if you want sales and accounts to have direct access to data, then
Look,
you've
I'm
got...
sorry, Ron. I mean, we may be able to deal with this later on if there's time, but can we take item 1 now?
Well, I am taking item 1. Improving company communication.
No, Ron. It's not the computer. It's the telephones. Look, every time we try to get through down there, they're engaged.
Huh?
No, it isn't.
What?
I'm talking about the staff briefing sessions, how we brief the staff on this year's company results.
What, the company results? Well, I thought you wanted an automated switchboard. I mean, you know the hold-ups we've been having down there.
Look, I'm talking about company communications.
So am I.
But so am I. How can we communicate if the phone's always busy?
Look, the whole point of this was to get ideas on how to brief the staff on this year's company results.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Well, I mean, hasn't anyone done any thinking about this?
I spent 2 hours yesterday.
Ah.
designing an improved layout for the House magazine.
That was your first misdemeanor. And then, hardly 20 minutes later...
I know. Right, item 6, expenditure on maintenance on the B1265s, the B219s. Ron.
Well, I've been through this and I can't see where we can cut back.
I agree. I feel very strongly that would be...
What?
What?
I was talking about this a few weeks ago.
When? Spend more money?
Yes. Now we postpone the re-equipment program.
Oh.
Right.
Well, what extra maintenance will they need? What'll it cost?
Well, I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Look, the point of putting this on the agenda...
Well, then let's think.
Well, we better take this on Friday too.
I better come then. Dan.
Ian, will you please have some figures then? Last item.
Within what limits? £10,000?
No, 10 to 15%.
Oh, thanks for telling me.
Number 7, the Sterling contract. Jack, what are the labour estimates?
Well, Fred's kept me waiting for this because he's got a problem with the overtime rates. He's not sure.
You mean you haven't got them?
Well, I'll have them tomorrow evening latest.
I need a decision on this today.
Today?
Yes, look, it says Sterling contract, estimates and terms. I mean, isn't that clear?
I thought we were just reviewing it.
Well, we can't decide anything without George, can we?
Why not?
Well, he's got to agree the delivery date, and that affects the pricing.
Well, we better take this on Friday too.
We should just have come on Friday.
Friday. There goes Friday.
Well, we can still decide on some of the figures, can't we?
Yes, why not?
Get something done. Will George be here Friday?
Yes, he will be. Well, we can decide the materials budget.
Yes, we can. What are the corresponding figures on the Ashcroft deal? Have you got them?
Look, I think it's best if we take this all on Friday. Decide it all in one go.
I'm going to keep mine. I'm going to frame it.
Well, at least I had an agenda.
No, you didn't.
What?
This is just headings jotted down to remind you of the topics. An agenda's not just a chairman's crib card. It's a brief for all the others to work from. It's got to define the direction and the area of the discussion and its end purpose. Really? I mean, imagine that sort of thing in my court.
Oh, the first witness, James Dugdale. Now, you are James Dugdale?
I am.
This is James Dugdale, my lad. My lad, James Dugdale. James Dugdale, my lad.
Well?
Well, that's all it says, my lad. First witness, James Dugdale.
Well, who or what is Mr. Dugdale?
I'm an expert. He's an expert, my lad.
Exactly what kind of an expert?
I'm an expert on Renaissance art. On Renaissance art, my lad.
Well, why have you called him?
Well, he is an expert on Renaissance... Oh. Here to testify about the painting. He's here to testify about the painting, my lad.
Did he sell it?
It's a fake. Painting's a fake. He's here to say that it's a fake, my lad.
So we know exactly what Mr. Dugdale is, why he's here, and what we expect to get out of him. Now, where is the painting?
The painting is at the police station, my lad, for safekeeping, along with the man who is alleged to have sold the... how about this Friday? Can you make it? All right for you? Anyone not managed Friday?
So make it clear to everybody what is being discussed, why it is being discussed, and what you hope to achieve from the discussion. and anticipate the people and information that you'll need and make sure that you've got them.
Look, I do all those things sometimes.
But not always.
Well, of course not. I haven't got the time.
If you use that excuse again, I shall have you hanged. Twice.
Twice?
Don't argue. And anyway, even when you do get all that right, you still make mistakes with your agenda.
Like what?
Third charge. Negligent ordering of agenda and criminal misallocation of time.
What does that mean?
Perhaps this will refresh your memory. September the 20th last year, 3:25 in the afternoon.
Right, that's item 1 for decision, allocation of parking spaces in the new park, 6 spaces for marketing and PR, 4 each for production management, works management, and 8 for admin.
For review after 3 months.
Yes. Did that really take 15 minutes? Right, item 2, for decision, McKenna Brothers order for 250 L3s for delivery 31st October. Do we accept the order, or is October 31st too tight?
The L3s are practically obsolete.
Marcus, they're not obsolete.
Well, we ought to be selling them then. The L5s are more durable, they're easier
Look,
to
I
handle.
want to take this order if we can. It's McKenna's, right? If we can do this, they may come back.
Right. Well, I think we're making a mistake.
Look, I'm sorry, it's 10-2.
Yes, well, if we hadn't wasted 50 minutes discussing the bloody parking...
That was urgent. The park opens on Monday. Ron, how can we do this McKenna job?
Well, we'll have to do the L3s on number 2 and 3 machines tomorrow and Thursday.
well, no, just a minute.
Can we just...
That'll mean completing the Ashcroft B19s over the weekend.
How much overtime?
Not too much.
Right, that's it then. Now, item 3, for information, forward maintenance schedules on the batchwork machines. Off you go, Ian.
Nice to get a word in.
You want to chair this?
Oh, not now. I just want to say that I've got to rewire machines number 2 and 3 over the next 3 nights.
Oh, Christ.
Look, I warned you last week.
Well, won't it wait till the weekend?
Ah, if you don't mind the place going up in smoke.
Well, what about McKenna's L3s?
YP.
What?
Your problem.
Well, why didn't you mention this while we were discussing it?
I've been trying to.
What can we do, Ron?
Well,
Not take the order?
we'll have to put number 4 onto the L3s, and now that will mean more overtime on the B19s. So we may have to ask our shop for a few hours' grace on Monday.
Right. That's the plan. Bonus rates next. David, would you ask Bert to come in, please? So that's 2, 3, and 4 on the L3s, and I'll call Ashcross after this.
Why don't we off McKenna's the L5s?
Because they don't want them. Item 4, bonus rates. Ah, Bert, sorry to keep you waiting. Bert, before we get on to the bonus rates, we need quite a bit of overtime this weekend. Do you see any problems?
Yes.
What?
You know.
I don't.
I don't think my members will agree to weekend overtime. You see, we're a bit worried about the bonus scheme.
Right. Well, we'll talk about the bonus scheme first then. Then if we can get that sorted out, we'll deal with the overtime. We know about the maintenance situation now, so then we can go back to item 2 and see...
Whether to take the McKenna order or not.
I know what you're going to say, but the parking spaces had got to be done.
Very well. Put it first because it's urgent and polish it off in 5 minutes because it's unimportant. You can even put 5 minutes against it on the agenda. Culpable failure of time planning. But the failure of order planning was even worse.
Well, how was I to know about the bonus argument? How was I supposed to know about the maintenance?
How were you supposed to decide whether to accept an order before establishing that you had the men and the machines to fulfill it? Imagine a clerk of the court planning the sequence of events like that.
It is indeed a straightforward case, my lord. So I will now ask the clerk of the court to read the depositions taken from the witnesses of the magistrate's court.
Thank you, Willard. I, Edward Lynn, tobacconist of 44 the High Street, Croydon, do declare that I saw the red van driving away from the scene of the accident. The driver
What
seems
accident?
rather... Always been a good son to me. This is it. I, George Percy Thomas of 16 the Dale, Esher, do declare that I saw the second collision clearly, as I had turned round immediately after the first...
What is that?
The weather conditions in the month of May, during which the accident occurred, my lad. Fascinating.
Who saw the first accident?
Oh, this man, my lad. Harry sang out of the sideboard?
What?
Oh, a lorry swung out of the side road. Sorry, my lad, we didn't have time to get this typed.
Why didn't you?
Oh, this took ages.
Ages.
Look for logical connections between different items and arrange them in the necessary order. Allocate time so that the important items get the fullest discussion, even if they're not urgent. Well, that's the agenda.
Can I wake up now?
Certainly not. Your worst crimes are still to come.
I'm supposed to be getting some rest.
Fourth charge. Not being in full control of your discussion.
When?
Let's just take last Monday, shall we?
So you'll deal with that.
Okay.
Right, item 4, discipline. I don't think there's too many problems, but I've got to review the discipline agreements with Bert this week, so, what does anyone think?
Well, they're still nicking knives and forks from the canteen. I thought that had stopped. Oh, yes, it stopped. About 10 minutes.
Oh, well, you expect a bit of that. How much is it going on?
Enough. My problem is that people are still clocking on for each other.
What your lads need, Ron, is a bit of discipline.
Depends what you mean by discipline.
I'll tell you what I mean by discipline. Nailing a few of them to the front gates, that's what I mean.
Shut up, Marcus. What I'm getting at is there won't be much of your kind of discipline till we get the hygiene factors right.
Well, which ones are still wrong?
Well, for a start, look, are we talking about problems or solutions? Because if it's solutions, then we should start by trying to shorten discipline procedures.
I think we've got to review the problems first.
Okay, well, here's one. Now, can we really expect a supervisor to control a group of 45?
I'll tell you the problem. We can't even control the bloody supervisors.
They're all right.
So on mine, good lads. I scratch their backs and they scratch mine.
Well, you think the supervisors might need more training?
No, it's much more a question of giving them fewer men to supervise.
If we could get them to fill the men in where the company's at, to involve them more.
They're just not interested in things like that, David. I mean, my lads are okay, but they won't even read the safety notices, unless I hold them up to them like that.
I'll tell you what the problem is.
Oh.
They're bone bloody idle. We ought to sack a few of them, that'll wake them up.
Yeah, and get another Jones case.
Amazing, wasn't it? It was absolutely useless.
I don't believe
Yeah,
this
we
new
couldn't prove it, could we?
Do you call that a discussion?
Well, we were sort
That
of...
wasn't a discussion, that was group therapy. A discussion's got a structure, just like we have in this court. First, state the proposition. Next, produce the evidence. Then you have the arguments about what the evidence proves. Then you come to a conclusion, a verdict. Then, and only then, can you decide on the action, the sentence. Otherwise...
I now declare the case open and hereby sentence the accused to 3 months. So now we'll have some evidence, but only a bit, and then I shall ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to reach your verdict. Then we'll hear what counsel for the defence has to say, but I shall interrupt, demand some more evidence, change my sentence, and then sum up. Then after coffee, we'll have a bit more evidence, see if your verdict's still right, give the prosecution a run, then we'll all have a great big raffle, and the winner can read the charge.
Structure the discussion in stages, so that all the evidence comes before the interpretation of the evidence, and all the interpretation before the deciding on the action. Keep the stages separate, and stop people jumping on or going back over old ground.
Well, I can do that bit sometimes, you know. What about last Wednesday?
It was all right at the start.
But it's not just inflation, because Universal International's costs have not gone up as much as ours.
I think we ought to change suppliers.
Oh, hold on, Ian. We're still establishing reasons. I mean, how do you know our suppliers are costing us too much?
Well, I'm pretty sure.
But they supply UI as well.
So it can't be that. Right. We're still trying to get at the reasons behind our cost problem. Howard, 1 meeting at a time, please. What are the reasons for our rising costs? David.
You see? I did that okay, didn't I? Yes, full marks. But you lost them all 2 minutes later.
What do you mean?
5th charge. Failure to summarize and record the discussion.
Okay, last item. Ian, can you bring us up to date on progress on the pay structure review?
Well, I haven't been able to take it any further, really. Look, I can't until the joint negotiating committee meet and decide about the regrading claims. When are they going to meet, David?
Well, George was going to arrange that, wasn't he? Because he wanted to be there to put his case.
I thought you were going to fix a meeting quickly as you needed to know.
But Ron usually does that.
Usually, yes, but as George said he wanted to be in on it, we said we'd leave it up to him.
That's what I thought. George would know.
But George isn't here.
Well, it must have been him then.
I thought it was you, Ron.
George.
Look, would you like to take a vote on it?
Surely we decided that Ian would coordinate with George and Ron.
We decided to take the necessary action.
Which meant that Ron would make sure the committee consulted George.
Not in this case. It was George's job.
Next item. To discuss and decide exactly what we did discuss and decide at the last meeting.
Well, before we decide that,
Yes?
oughtn't George to be here?
Well, I thought everyone knew what had been decided.
Supposing we did that. You have been found guilty, but before I pass sentence, I must ask the court if you have any previous convictions.
Well, I'm not absolutely sure, but I've got a hunch we did him about 5 years ago for forgery, or it could have been arson, but he thinks he was taller.
No, it wasn't arson. It was him. I'd swear to that. And it was forgery. But I reckon he got off.
No, never.
Well, didn't anyone write down what the judge said?
No?
Why not?
Well, we all thought we knew what had been decided. Sorry.
So finally, summarize and record. Do you think you've got it now?
I think so.
Is it safe to let you wake up? I have the public to think of, you know. I'll tell you what. If you can summarize this dream, I'll give you a conditional discharge.
Thank you, Miller. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let us record our 5-stage plan for shorter and more productive meetings. Stage 1, plan. Clear your mind about the precise objectives of the meeting. Be clear why you need it and list the subjects. Stage 2, inform. Make sure everyone knows exactly what is being discussed, why, and what you want from the discussion. Anticipate what information and people may be needed and make sure they're there. Stage 3, prepare. Prepare the logical sequence of items. Prepare the time allocation to each item on the basis of its importance, not its urgency. Stage 4, structure and control. Take the evidence stage before the interpretation stage, and that before the action stage, and stop people jumping ahead or going back over old ground. Stage 5, summarize all decisions and record them straight away with the name of the person responsible for any action. May I wake up now?
How do you feel? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Conditionally discharged. However, if you have not learned your lesson, if you continue to waste other people's time, you will find yourself doing some of your own.
Oh, bloody meaty.
Anything wrong?
No, nothing, dear. I think I'll just do a little thinking about that meeting this morning.